And we're on. Welcome everyone who has already joined. You have not missed anything. We just wanted you to gather here. It's Startup Wise Guys and XR Crowd event, and we are super happy to have an awesome conversation today with Crosscreators CEO Ani. With that, I will leave you with these two amazing people, Michael and Ani. Enjoy the conversation, and yeah. I'm in the background, you too, if you need me. Enjoy.
Yeah, thank you very much, Louise. So welcome everyone, and thank you very much for joining us live. And of course, I would love to thank and welcome everyone who's joining us in the future. That is to be your present as you're watching this. I'm Michael Barngrover, and I'm from the XR Crowd, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But the most important thing to say first is I want to thank Ani. For joining us, Manjavidze, who is the CEO of Crosscreators. Always very appreciative of the time that founders have when they're offering it to me for these interviews. So I'm looking forward to diving into what Crosscreators is doing, what Ani's journey has been, and really hear from her kind of what creators in the AR space are experiencing, what they're seeing and hearing, and what they're responding to. So this is kind of another opportunity to vicariously hear what frontline creators in this emerging, whether you want to call it metaverse or just and more simply AR and XR creator ecosystems, people on the front lines of this, what their experiences are and what they're hearing. So before we jump into that and let Ani introduce herself and Crosscreators, I would like to introduce myself and the XR Crowd very, very briefly. The XR Crowd is an informal community of XR professionals all over the world. If I had to say, pick a geography where we're a little bit more centered than others, it's certainly Europe, but we are truly global. I was brought into the XR Crowd at the very beginning of the pandemic. I'm originally from the United States, but I'm based in Istanbul, Turkey for many years, where I represent the Turkish XR community, and Ani's coming from Georgia. So I'm actually always really happy to talk to people kind of in our region, because, we don't always get as much attention as some people in other countries, other markets, but there's a lot of great stuff coming from all over the XR world. And the XR Crowd, incorporates that, includes that, and helps to promote and integrate these communities around the world. So I'd like to especially thank Andre Lunev, who is a founder, and he would probably consider himself a co-founder, but I like to see him as kind of the main guy who brought the XR Crowd together over several years of real physical XR events, and then helped to shepherd it through the pandemic and grow it through the pandemic. And now he's working with Startup Wise Guys as well as XR Crowd to help promote the XR accelerator program that they have been developing, and that Andre is very much one of the powers helping to push that forward and develop that. And on that note, I'd like to introduce Ani, give her the floor, and let her introduce what she's working on.
Michael, thank you so much for having me here. I'm pleased to talk with you right now. And you pronounced my surname really good. So let me introduce myself first. So I'm from Georgia, as Michael mentioned. We started working on Crosscreators because of our problems. I'm from a marketing firm myself. I've been working in advertising industry for more than 13 years. And I wanted to do something special with my marketing and sales campaigns for my customers. So I knew that there was like augmented reality, virtual reality. But to say the truth, in Georgia, there was always a problem to find expertise here. So I always forgot about it at the end of the day. But when back in 2019, when big brands started to use social AR that much, like Facebook and Instagram filters, Snapchat, I decided to jump on it. But my struggles has begun from there, because I didn't know much about augmented reality because of my just marketing background. So I didn't know where to choose these creators, where to find, what type of background to look at, how to evaluate if they were good enough or no. Going to agencies was really tough for me because like on content ideation, they needed at least like starting from 1 month or 2 months. And then it was really expensive for those companies with whom I was working. I mean, like small and medium-sized businesses. So I decided to do something about it because I also had this experience in working for startups. So I decided to make a marketplace for creators and brands to get matched really easily and to start collaborating on augmented reality content creation for whole AR landscape. I mean, starting from social AR, web AR, and application. So we started resolving problems for brands who didn't have access and affordability to implement augmented reality in their marketing mix. So in Crosscreators, you can get AR content from whole AR landscape, from ideation to creation, without any hassle, and no need to understand how augmented reality works and how you can implement in your marketing strategies.
Thank you for that. And that kind of you've answered my first question, right? Which is what was the genesis of the idea? What was the moment where you kind of identified there was a problem that you might have a solution for? And it was curious what I heard you say with 2019 and AR with the social platforms, because I think that's quite revealing, right? Because AR for brands has, like VR, has kind of had these hype cycles going on, and there was this push, in 2015, 16, and 17, right, with these other AR applications, or all in one. All the brands would have something in this one application, but it wasn't social. And one of the questions I was going to ask you is what's changed now compared to in past years, where you feel like, all right, AR is kind of where it's successful for brands has been revealed. And I was going to ask you, is social that one? Yeah.
Yeah, it's correct. So with social AR, augmented reality content became more affordable for users, for brands, customers. So everyone has smartphone right now, and like mobile augmented reality is affordable for everyone. So they can reach easily with the consumers with mobile augmented reality rather than just doing application or web AR. Because like one thing is content creation and another thing is their promotion. So with social AR, it's really easy to upload the code of augmented reality and also advertise it and reach your consumers where they already are.
Are you seeing any particular dominant platform in that space? I mean, I know, of course, Snap is pretty good. We've done some stuff in Turkey, but I would say here Instagram is the biggest of the social platforms here. But would you say that is there any dominance, or is it that if I'm a creator and I want to specialize on a particular, right? Because they each have different studio tools. Like if I want to specialize on one, could I sustain myself?
So we unite a lot of augmented reality developers and designers who are able to deliver content creation on different kind of channels, like starting from Spark AR for Snapchat, for TikTok, Unity, and so on. Mm-hmm. But like you can really say like which platform is dominating because it's all about the client's needs and their location. For example, Snapchat is not really popular in CIS countries. It's more popular in US, UK, and European market. And they have like really good features which are really approaching the creators because it's really good for e-commerce direction. But also like to talk about Spark AR, they have amazing features as well. And they are like stepping ahead day and the day. But to say the truth, like if one creator is working in one platform on social media, they try to jump on different kind of platforms, not to lose the ability to match with new clients. Mm-hmm. And you can never say like what is the most popular because like it is needed for different kind of objectives.
I see. I mean, and that's what I had heard in the VR content creator space. We talked just briefly before we came on about this interoperability issue, which is in the VR creator economy space. People they make something and they want to know that it can go to multiple platforms, and that doesn't really, as of yet, it's not really a feature that's common among VR platforms, or not even the VR, but like the metaverse platforms. You know, you make it for it there, and then you have to reproduce it. In the with these AR platforms, is it? I mean, I guess a simple answer is you have to remake it. You know, you can use the same basic assets maybe, but you have to remake it. But is that a pain point, or is that not much of a pain point that you're hearing from creators?
Depending what type of content they are doing. If they are doing for brands, like, it's always easier to use the templates and not to lose time, of course. And to say the truth, like, we are going in this direction whenever we are suggesting our creators to create stock on Crosscreators, which means that they will have these templates for different kind of platforms. The problems are not ready to use their own, because like this specific augmented reality creator platforms have different kind of features. So yet it is not really amusing and easy to use like this different kind of code. So I think that it might be a problem, but like it's creators have a lot other pain points rather than just like using the same content on different platforms.
What are some of these other pain points?
So we are mainly in augmented reality marketing, right? So we know all the pain points whenever like it is communication with clients. So these pain points are mainly some trust issues with the clients. If you're doing it without third-party platform, it's really not easy to understand whom to trust. Whenever you are sending your files, you may lose the money and the client may disappear one day, and vice versa. This is really pretty big issue nowadays still, because like who is working without any support and any kind of like third-party platform activation. They are in this, like every 5 from 10 creators have this problem and issues today. Also, it's not easy to implement like really good brief, because like one thing is that you can create content, but another thing is content creation ideation. So inspiration problems are really bad because like creators are not used to do marketing, and that's why how we develop our communities, that we are giving out a lot of education how to sell their services. So you may be a really good creator in your sense, and you can create amazing content really to make amazing features, but sometimes brands do not need these skills, and they need some marketing skills as well, because then creators need to understand what brands need at the end of the day, because like some of the brands are doing it for wow effect, of course, but 90% of brands who are our clients are intending to do augmented reality marketing to make their campaigns better, which means that creators must acknowledge that they need to understand marketing objectives first.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to ask the specific questions to clients to get the result that both will be happy at the end of the day.
Is Crosscreators at this point, would you say, taking on some project management or project consulting responsibilities as an intermediary? And is that kind of part of where you see your business at, right now and going forward, or just temporary until such time that this service is not really necessary anymore?
So everything on Crosscreators is self-service right now. We started as a managed service because like we needed to give out this education. How we're dealing with Crosscreators is that we are giving education through workshops to our vetted creators. So we have vetted and non-vetted creators. So we know like specific ones who are ready to sell out really amazingly their products and services, but some of them are not vetted yet. And for them, we're doing some weekly workshops, educational blogs, newsletters, them to understand how to promote themselves on our platform better, what type of portfolio they should consider to concentrate, what type of wordings they should use whenever talking to client, if they are matched with specific one, and so on. So we're not doing it manually. We try to automate things right now to be more time efficient and money efficient as well.
Are you mentioned one of the pain points just being kind of trust, and you have a vetting system, so that's addressing part of that. But is Crosscreators involved in payment processing or anything to kind of like help on the security on that side, which is like a big ask, but is that something that you see you guys in now or in the future?
True. Yeah, payments are happening on Crosscreators. So we are assuring the both sides that their money is like safe. So whenever project is finalized, creators are getting their money. We're also like promising our creators and brands like to assure if they have any kind of problem, we will jump in and just to decide it like in a like proper manner, like where this money should go, if it will go to brand side or because we have this money back guarantee if something goes wrong. But so far, fingers crossed, nothing went wrong. But yeah, we're ready for that, of course, because like we're talking a lot to our customers, and we try, even though we have the self-service, them not to feel that they are alone on our platform. So we are kind of like assuring that we have this friendship on both sides, not to lose the human side, because it's really important, because like without relationship with a customer or creator, you can not succeed.
And how are you growing your user base? Or not your user base, your creator base? Is it kind of organic word of mouth? Or are you going to, I don't know, are you going to have to do specific events or something?
So from the beginning, like we started communicating with those creators with whom we were like adoring them, and they were like top tier. Kind of whenever these creators started mentioning us a lot on social media, it's kind of became like organic, because creators community do know about Crosscreators, and to say the truth, they are always in need to find new clients. Not top tier, but like small and medium-sized creators who just have started their journey. So it's always a headache for them to think about sales and marketing campaigns for their services. So it's always a really good idea whenever you can just create your profile, show your job done, and like some other third-party platform is doing your job like in sense of marketing and promotion. So now we are growing organically. We have also the strategy whenever we are just seeing the really cool creations on social media, we try to communicate with them directly, them to appear on our platform, because I think that if creator is skillful and they are doing amazingly and they are not yet doing freelancing, we're offering them this opportunity, and they are onboarded on Crosscreators after waiting.
So most of your creators, as I understand it, and maybe you said this explicitly, but just to confirm, it's mainly for freelancers and indies and people getting into this space. When they get to be the point of a studio, are they? Is that a kind of a profile that you see like
a lot of lot of studios and agencies are using Crosscreators platform, and some of them are naming their profile by their studio, or some of them they have this trick, so they are signing up as like physical creators on Crosscreators, and whenever the new job comes in, like they are acting as a physical creator, not an agency. So we are supporting both sides. So we are here to support augmented reality itself. So we unite agencies, freelancers, group of friends who are doing augmented reality. But the first thing for us, foremost, is the quality. So even though we make augmented reality affordable, we don't want to lose quality. So that's why we're really strict about it.
Do you guys, I mean, I guess in some cases, like in VR, this is more my background coming from VR, but like in VR, if you're making VR, one of the ways you build credibility, right, is that you do stuff in VR, or like you just keep showing that we really use it? Are you commissioning AR projects yourself as cross creators for one reason or another? Are you doing like competitions or little like hackathon jams or something?
Yeah, not yet. We had only one competition so far, but we are planning to do so from the next year a lot, because like it's always great to have really good content. And that's why, as we are building AR stock on our platform, where these creators will show off their AR creations with different filtering, we want to make this contest as well. But we're not doing yet. But it's really amazing way to show off more creators and to make user-generated content on the marketplace.
Do you have any relationship directly with any of the platforms like TikTok or Snap or Meta and stuff like that? Is that? I mean, presumably it's not necessary, but is there something in there that you guys are working with directly with them?
Not yet. We're not working with them directly. We're just uniting their creators and helping them to get more clients in sense of augmented reality advertising. But maybe someday we can have opportunity to create something really good together, maybe some conference or event.
Well, I was thinking sometimes, with Snap, I actually they supported a residency, an art residency that we did earlier this summer. And through it, at a certain point, they came and said, "Hey, we have some new physics features coming out. They're not released yet, but we need some documentation. And if you would be interested, you would get early access to it. And this is, of course, what the VR headsets give out to studios. They give the developer kits. So that's why I was wondering. I could see that being something of a value that you could offer to your vetted creators. Sometimes, right? Is maybe early access to certain features or within some of these platforms.
Yeah, great idea. I will start talking with them.
Yeah. So what's the next 12 months? I mean, maybe that's too far out. What's the next 6 months look like for cross creators? Is it that it's just growing more organically and just kind of building out those relationships?
We want to scale more and we want to scale faster. At this point, we have a lot of clients coming from CIS and the European market, but we also have like several from US market, and we want to test it out. But it's always really interesting to test new markets, and we want to make a lot of campaigns whenever, like educational campaigns, because augmented reality is not that popular yet. Because like some of the marketing managers know about augmented reality, but some of them know. So we want to create kind of like market opportunity in every sense where we can. So we also will try to go into Asian market and US market, where we're not located that aggressively as we are in CIS and European market.
And I was going to ask you about Asia, or even Africa and South America, perhaps a little bit off the radar in terms of some people, but definitely growing, digital markets.
Yeah, we haven't thought about Africa, to say the truth. We are thinking about Asia more because we know that brands there are in need for augmented reality, but they can't find the specific creators who they are like in search. So we want to kind of simplify AR content creation there as well. So next 5 months, we will be working really hard about it and to make our platform more easier to use, and to make by easier using, we see that we are adding this AR stock for those who are not able to implement augmented reality from the scratch and who don't have that money. So with AR stock, we are able to deliver AR content like 3 times faster and 4 times affordable way.
Oh, well, that's a lot. Those are strong multiples. Does that mean for you to expand practically, you're not keeping the AR creators in house, so that's not on your payroll. But to expand, are you going to have to make hires? And the reason I ask is just because everyone's talking about, layoffs and hiring freezes right now, kind of in the digital space and the digital advertising space, but I mean, perhaps that means that there's quite a few people now looking for new opportunities that you might be a good match for.
So hiring in creative direction, we are not doing that. We're offering marketplace where they can find clients.
Mhm.
And in my opinion, like future of work lies into freelancing and to making yourself like more free of choice and not to sit in the office or just remotely from 9 to 6 job. And you can always choose whenever you want to work, with whom do you want to work, and what type of project do you want to deliver. So as augmented reality marketing becomes more and more popular, there will not be that much need to find like a full-time job for an agency or a specific company to work internally on one, maybe sometimes boring project. So on marketplace, whenever you are a creator, you have this opportunity to jump in on different kind of creative level opportunities and create really amazing stuff. And one more stuff, what is beneficial on Cross Creators, here are coming clients not only with the specific briefs, but also those who are open to creators' creative ideas. So in that case, you can work on your portfolio and make something amazing, which you can't do whenever like client is really strict about their idea,
Mhm.
which might not always be a good idea, but like, yeah, you have to do it. But with those features, like whenever these clients are open to your crazy and amazing ideas, which will work, you can just fly and make your creative borders fell down.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard there, but I was thinking more like when you're entering a market for cross creators themselves to enter, because I guess right the value proposition is clear on both sides, but whereas I guess usually supply side, right, they're looking for solutions like cross creators, but I guess
Mhm.
on the demand side, right, there's also people looking. There are brands who are actively looking, so you don't have to go out and communicate so much about what you do. I mean, you don't have to go out and target, right? You're not having to go out to a brand and say, "Hey, L'Oreal, we're
Uh-huh.
cross creators or something." They
Mhm.
come looking for you, I presume, a little bit.
So actually, we are more concentrated on SMBs right now rather than just like bigger brands, because bigger
Yeah.
brands are already doing it and have this opportunity to like hire agencies, and like they have this opportunity to wait for 2 months to deliver one campaign, because like they have this benefit from their customers that they are already on top of the world. But the vice versa situation lies with SMBs. So it's not easy then to implement this impressive wow effect campaigns easily. And not everyone knows how to. Even though they know about AR, it's not easy to know how to use it.
Mhm.
So it's like 50-50. Some of our clients need to be targeting and to give away some education, but some others, yeah, know exactly what they want. Still, market is evolving, and we see a huge market opportunity here, because like we're targeting those brands who are selling services and products digitally, and we are telling that if you want to get really really amazing visibility and engagement for your from your target customer, then you have to jump on augmented reality as soon as possible, not to leave a lot on the table for
Yeah.
others.
I'm conscious of the time, but just maybe one last question, just because as a marketplace, right, one of the, I think discoverability is one like inherent value, but the other one I think is also helping to establish awareness of appropriate pricing, or starting to put numbers to things that probably vary very widely from location and from client and use case and stuff. Are you starting? I mean, is that actually something that is needed in the AR space? Or is it, or do people have a sense of what the value is? It's not as arbitrary as it may be in some other metaverse contexts.
Yeah, that's always a problem, because like whenever some technology becomes a hype, um, and it's like easy to sound, some people and especially brands are um, considering that it's really easy to implement and therefore really affordable and cheap. That's why, yeah, our main pain point lies into like them explaining how much energy, how much time creators need to deliver this amazingly like simple project, but like effective for their marketing campaigns. Pricing range, the first question always lies into like how much it will cost. Of course, like it never depends on the location. Like everyone has this question, but the good and bad sign is that on our platform that there are no fixed prices. So there are a lot of creators who are setting the prices themselves. So it's always on something like how what channel are you choosing? Do you need some license? Do you need one-time or evergreen campaign? What type of creator is doing content for you? Do they have time, or you can wait for like 10 or 2 weeks for that to deliver? So it's all about creators, and we are giving them freedom to set their own prices to monetize their skills.
Okay. Well, great. Well, again, conscious of time, I think you have as a founder many responsibilities, and your day is never quite over. That's the counter to not having the 9 to 5 is it's 24 hours. So
yeah, I have been like talking from 7 a.m. today, and sorry if I just was not that sharp today. I think
no, it was great to have you here. But definitely, that's a long time to talk. So I hope you get some nice tea and maybe some honey, something good for your throat. Thank you very much for spending. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. So hold on, we have one. Do you have just we have one question from Andre here in the chat? If you have,
okay, sure.
Andre, he said, here we go. AR looks like the ultimate instant VFX for social media content. Do you see any case where its actual utility is produced with AR features?
In e-commerce, for example, whenever you are using try-on category, by try-on I mean whenever your customers are able to see if this product fits them or not, they like it or not. So it's the best utility for e-commerce, I guess. But I think that VFX is also really beneficial for brands, because like marketing is really important for each brand, and straightforward campaigns whenever some brands are saying come and buy my products is not the right way to approach their brand. So they have to also think about the brand awareness, referral campaigns, virality, and user-generated content. And to compare with classic digital advertising, augmented reality shows amazing results. Like to compare with video production, for example, engagement time is 4 times better with augmented reality rather than just with simple video that they are seeing in their mobile phones.
And that's not something that we talked about, and we can't bring it up now, but I guess this integration, right? Because it's like a marketing mix, right? It's not just an AR thing that someone's doing. So how does the AR, how do the assets fit with video? How do they fit with non-AR? Yeah, I guess that's practically would matter a lot for your creators, because are they working independently, or are they going to be working inside of something bigger that may constrain them in ways where the other stakeholders aren't involved at that point? Maybe later, surprise, the film director is doing something, or the advertising director is doing something, and they're doing it this way, so now you have to adapt or something. I mean, I'm just thinking like worst case scenario. Sometimes I've been in projects where suddenly there's a new boss. I didn't know about that boss, but now that new boss is here, a decision maker, and everything's got to adapt. Yeah, we didn't talk about that, but there's a million things we could have talked about, and there's only so much time in the world. So
we can always talk.
Yeah, we can always do another one. Yeah, Ani, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure to have you tonight.
Cool questions. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent. All right, so for XR Crowd and Startup Wise guys, thank you very much for attending, for watching either live or later, and check out Crosscreators. I'm sorry, Ani, is it .com?
It's .com, crosscreators.com.
Yeah, crosscreators.com, easy to remember. Check it out, and start thinking about your next AR campaign if you haven't already. All right, everyone, have a good day.